What do you mean you're not going down any of that? Because like right now, there's a rumor that you guys are eloped.
Oh, I know. I was when I saw that, I was like, "What?"
Like,
I
is
was like,
that
Let us see your finger,
my
Dale.
sister, my sister is my sister texted me, and she's like, "When did all this happen?" And I was like,
you're oh, man? Like, no.
"Yeah," but again, like the internet will do their thing, and they'll put it out again. We don't focus on that at all.
Isn't that crazy? Like
Wait,
your
so
own
wait,
family has to call you like, yo, is this rumor true? It's like,
wait, is the
no.
rumor true or no, Dale?
When Claire and I, when that time comes, everyone will know about it.
When is that time?
So is the
What better time than talking it out?
That's Claire
I'm
and I have
genuinely
to talk it
curious,
out
Dale. I'm
first.
genuinely curious. Like,
I could say that rumor is not accurate. I can definitely say
okay,
that.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm Dale. I'm trying to help you out because like,
Yeah, no,
they're gonna be like, oh,
just
he didn't
think
answer the question.
Let's
I
just
just
nip
think
it in
it's
the
funny,
bud.
right?
Yeah.
It's funny because, and y'all know this just as well as I do, even better, how one small thing can go and then it gets picked up here and there's an article and then they go back and look at liking this tweet or liking, and it's like, whatever. That's why you just got to let the internet, like they're going to do what they're going to do. And it goes back to like, how do you handle some of those things? I try not to consume it as much as possible. It finds its way back to you, but at the end of the day, more so than not, I think some of those things are funny, right? Like how these stories can really get out there and the clickbait that really gets pushed. But it is
Clickbait
what
for
it is.
sure.
What's
I
hold on,
sorry.
Dale. What's the craziest thing that you've heard? I mean, obviously we just talked about one of them, but what would you say is like the craziest thing that anybody's ever put out there in the media or on social media about you and Claire?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, there was everything. We honestly, it's hard for me to pinpoint. We've been in the media pretty heavily since last August. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of different things, and like I said, I don't really consume too much of it. I'll get and see certain things here and there, but I don't know. I wish I could give you the craziest. There's been a lot of them. I thought the wedding thing was really surprising. Especially that how that kind of came about. And again, those are all things that like Claire and I have talked about for a long time. But usually, like anything that's really going to come out, if it's going to come out, it's going to come out from the both of us. So I don't know, man. There's a lot.
Like I remember Rachel and I, we were at an event in New York and she was busy, like she was working the event. And I was actually on my way to a photo shoot. So I was on my phone trying to figure out the Uber and the directions to where I was going. And like one person that was behind a booth saw that like interaction. Like I was focused on
Yeah.
my phone. She was kind of like doing something else. Next thing I know, in like Us Weekly or whatever tabloid it is, it's like, oh, inside source says this relationship is all about business. You know, this isn't going to last, blah, blah,
It's
blah. And it's
wild.
like, did you get that from that one little moment? It's
I
like,
mean, it's wild, especially when you think about like if you're in New York or LA or some of these other
yeah,
markets. Like this year during the pandemic, people they didn't have much to do. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things just from like Dumois and all those, and it's unreal the things that go through there that have no merit, or no actual sound foundation. And
Yep.
it's
people see
clickbait.
things
It's
and they take
clickbait.
everything as true. And I've been in New York City for 6 years. I mean, I'm 6'4". If I'm walking around the street, I go, I'm pretty easy to spot. So definitely during the winter months and into the early spring, I mean, it was just constant. Like I'd get people tracking my movements throughout the city. Like they could draw a map and everything was Dale seen
That's
here, Dale
crazy.
seen there, Dale seen
That's
Insane.
here.
crazy.
And then anything Claire and I would do was, under a microscope. But again, we've never like minced our movements. We've never hid anything. We don't share all of our personal business and everything like that, but we love each other unconditionally. And like the number one, like we love spending time together. We love exploring the city, and we're not going to change how we maneuver just because people are watching and paying attention.
I always say, and I learned this from my ex, it's about privacy, not secrecy.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
And
truly what it's
there's a
about.
fine line in this day and age, and I had to learn that personally. a little bit more. And I think that's even when you just communicate with like friends and family, because you just never know. Someone tells someone something and it gets taken one way versus another. But again, it was such a time for growth for the both of us, because we've never experienced any of those things. And it's been amazing being able to go through that with a partner and together, because I know even when one of us was struggling and, you know, the other one would lift the other up and vice versa. And in the worst moments, I couldn't imagine going through it with anyone else.